Hi there, I'm Caroline Peters. I'm the Superintendent for Operations. One of my responsibilities is the lead planner for Glastonbury Festival this year. I've had the pleasure of policing it in previous years before, but from a detective point of view. So I've been involved in processing prisoners and crime investigation for any crimes that have been committed on the site. Generally though, my experience both through work has been a fantastic one. Very much enjoyed it, very much enjoyed working with the festival goers and the teams, and look forward to working with it this year. Well, the planning starts pretty much immediately after the last day of the festival, and the debriefing process comes into play. My operations planning team pretty much work on it solidly for 3 months, certainly coming up to the next Glastonbury Festival, but on and off we'll work through it throughout the 12 months. Part of that process is to work with the other agencies, the GFL themselves, working through ironing out any issues that may have come up so that the process is more refined, so that when we move on to the next festival it's bigger and better for that year. Well, first and foremost it's to work with our partner agencies, key stakeholders and the event organisers themselves to make sure that we safeguard public safety. We want anyone coming to the festival site to be safe and feel safe. Secondly, it's about reducing crime and disorder. We want this to be a crime-free festival, and so in order to do that we put in a number of initiatives to make sure that we get that crime prevention advice out there. We don't want anyone coming to the festival site and having the whole experience ruined simply because they've had an expensive item or a possession stolen from them during the course of the events. However, we are committed to identifying any offenders that do commit crime on the festival site, and this is a reassurance from me that if anyone does commit crime, we will track you down and identify you and make sure we put you in front of the courts. But the planning process is still very much there. We have an experienced team that year on year have built on what's happened in previous times and previous years, and even though the planning is absolutely paramount, our engagement that we have with the event organisers and other stakeholders is in a very good relationship, and we work hard to make sure that we have that excellent working relationship year on year. The perimeter fencing and the ticketing and the robust ticketing procedure that we now have in place has built on a massive improvement on making sure that people feel safe when they're on site. We have to cater for over 175,000 people, whether they're working on site or whether they're there as festival goers, and everyone is important to us. So the planning and the logistics that go in behind that are quite immense. Just to give you some practical examples, we have to ensure that festival goers arrive safely and leave safely, and also how they are able to operate when they're actually on site. Equally with police staff and police officers and other agencies, we have to make sure we have got good planning processes in place. For example, with the horses, where they're stabled, where they're fed, how they're fed, are examples that we also have to cater for. Well, last year was the second year in a row where recorded crime was down. I fully intend to make sure that that downward trend continues for this festival period. It has to be said that over 99.7% of all people that attended the festival last year were not victims of crime. It is a safe area to come and have a fantastic time. But there is some basic principles around making sure that you are safe and that we can keep you safe. One of those is that one of the key crimes that gets committed are where your possessions and valuables are stolen from tents or upon your person. And there's some basic crime prevention techniques that you can have. We've also got lock-up facilities on site that are free. Please make use of those. If you do intend to come onto site with your possessions or valuables, please bring only what you need. And if you've got an old phone in the cupboard somewhere, bring that instead of the latest edition. In addition to that, particularly at night time, make sure that you're mindful of who's about. Look after yourself, look after your friends and your family, and just be mindful where you are. At night, obviously, there is a risk of getting lost, so make sure that you're with someone that you trust. From a drugs point of view, our message this year, as it has been reinforced every year, is that please don't be under any illusion that you can come onto the site and abuse drugs. If you have got drugs, do not bring them on the site, because if you do, we will deal with you robustly as we do at any time, in any street, in any area around Avon and Somerset. Okay, for me, it's just bring what you absolutely need. Make sure that if you have got anything that you don't really want to lose to ruin your experience, just don't bring it. Please make use of the free lock-up facilities on site. Just be mindful to look after yourself and your friends and your family, and just be made aware of who's around you. Please make use of our Twitter, and the details are on our website, but we have a sign up for free text messages for any crime prevention advice that will be updated throughout the duration. And finally, a personal message from me is that everyone that's coming to Worthy Farm, I hope it remains dry and warm and crime free, and I really do wish that you have a fantastic time.